I think personally, if you make stuff that's true to yourself and you put your heart into it without any intention of anything else, but here's what I've got and I want to share it, then there will be people out there that will feel similarly.
Do it scared. Look at me. Do it scared. I'm so serious. If you're scared, do it scared.
If you never finish anything, like you're never going to learn from it. So even if you finish it and you're like, you know what, this sucks, at least I finished it. Now I'm going to move on. Right?
True.
I feel like if you're stuck, then you're never going to move forward. Just do it.
On this week's episode, this is our first ever Nick's Friends in Film Live that we did at LightBox Expo in Pasadena with Jim McKenzie, Milo Ferguson, and Sara Ho. Thank you to the School of Visual Arts for setting up this panel. We had a great time, and thank you to everybody who came to see it in person and everybody who I got to meet this weekend at LightBox Expo. Thank you so much for being here. Let's get into it. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming today. My name is Nick Manfredi, and I am a layout/previs artist who's worked at Disney, DreamWorks, Blue Sky Animation Studios, and I host a YouTube channel called Nick's Friends in Film, which highlights people like these amazing artists who, these guys actually create their own artwork for themselves. They don't create for a studio, but it's people who work in the animation industry, the film industry, and it's just to highlight them and put a spotlight on people, animators, character designers, lighters, layout artists. So thank you guys so much for being here. Check it out if you get a chance. We have the cards all over your seats there, so check us out. And now a quick word from our sponsor today.
Raid Shadow Legends.
This
event is proudly sponsored by the School of Visual Arts, BFA Animation and BFA 3D Animation and Visual Effects departments. SVA has been a leader in the education of artists, designers, and creative professionals for 7 decades, with a faculty of distinguished working professionals, a dynamic curriculum, and an emphasis on critical thinking. SVA is a catalyst for innovation and social responsibility.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. So I truly want to quickly say a special thank you to Brian, Shang, Sam, and Jimmy for setting up this whole panel and organizing this day for you guys. And now I'd like to introduce you to our panelists, which is who you're here for. So let's introduce you to these guys. They're all extraordinary. They've all forged their own paths in the animation industry. And we're going to start with Sara down there. Sara Ho. So
Hello.
Sara is the owner, creator, and designer of Ohmonah.shop.
Yeah.
And she's here with us today. Everybody
Hello.
give her a round of applause.
Hello.
We have Mr. Jim McKenzie in the middle. He is an internet sensation. He is an animator, a sculptor, and director, Mr. Jim McKenzie. And right next to me, I have Milo Ferguson, background artist, animator, and co-creator of Studio Flimpo. We have the merch. This whole table has the merch. We have the merch. Let's get started. I will sit down now for this portion of the evening. Okay, so this is a question for everybody. So you've all successfully started your businesses outside of the studio system. What advice would you give to someone when starting out their business? Because what's the advice that you wish you had gotten when you started on your own? And let's start with Sara.
Okay. Business advice with starting on your own.
Business advice starting on your
Regardless
own.
of how big or small you are, make an LLC, make a business bank account, keep everything separate with personal and business, and even like you can pay yourself on a W-2 or later on, it doesn't need to be like a salary amount, but just having different track records, just very split early on, will be less of a headache later. I would say that.
That's a really good point. Yeah, it's a good place to start for anybody who wants to start a business.
I was going to say, don't have an LLC. No, you're probably right. I bought one and I never actually used it.
Yeah.
And then I've just been paying $800 a year, and
Dude,
it's been
it's completely flipped. It's interesting.
There's another thing you can, not the LLC, it's something similar.
S Corp.
That's it.
S Corp. Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, if you're a real company, you should have an LLC.
Can I rephrase?
Yeah.
I
No.
think if you were a sole proprietor, LLC is maybe in the middle, depending on what you do in a yearly. But I think the second you start thinking about hiring like a team or anything, go S corp, go LLC. Pay yourself on a W-2, and then health insurance, 401k, whatever, on your own. Yeah.
Exactly. And then
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
set
yeah.
yourself up if you need to write off
Yeah, yeah,
expenses
yeah.
for your business, all of those
Yeah.
things. I had to do that myself with this whole podcast endeavor. So it's
Yeah,
definitely helpful to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've been I mean, you sound like you're doing it the right way. I don't know what I'm doing ever. But if you're just like one person, sometimes you could get away with just, just doing things and getting money under the books for things and stuff like that. But I guess as far as things I would like to have told myself is probably maybe not care as much about things, or not care, but not stress as much. You could still put your heart into things, but you should know that most of the stress just comes from you, the artist, and it's all self-imposed. And at the end of the day, you're the one that really cares the most about all these things. So just try to have fun, and I guess know your audience as well. That's a big thing. If you're going to be selling things, know the market, know what people are interested in, know what they can afford, and don't spend $500 on a bunch of Scarecrow Girl toys and have them stuck in your closet. Make sure you make a smaller amount. Yeah.
And we'll circle back to that about marketing also in a little bit. But let's go to Milo first.
So we did make an LLC, but if I were to do it again, and I certainly, because like now with Studio Flimpo being such a like social media name, people come up to me and they're like, I'm starting a studio with all 9 of my friends and it's great. And I'm like, whoa, slow down. That's a whole endeavor you're doing. Like, so the best way I can sum it up is about 2 years ago, I had the privilege of meeting the great Chris Pernusky, the co-founder of Titmouse, at an SVA event. It was at SVA Premieres. And I told him that I was starting a little indie studio with my friends called Studio Flimpo. And he sort of almost grimly said to me, sign an operating agreement so that when you start a studio with your friends, they can remain your friends should anything happen. So definitely, if you are going to start a business with your friends, definitely do that, because if one of you has a big falling out or one of you dies, it's a possibility you have to consider. You have something on paper saying what happens to the assets and also like just what to do if should things not work out. But thankfully everything's gone well so far. But the main thing is just to know that like investing that much of your personal life into your business is not for everybody. It was an adjustment period for me. And it's not all sunshine and rainbows. You will be doing a lot of boring work and so much taxes. But just think it through. And if you're not sure about starting an actual company, do it the informal style. Just get some friends together, make something fun. Worst case scenario, you're like, I'm never working with that person again, but hey, we made something cool. And there's no legal stuff tied in it at all.
There you go.
Yeah, true.
It's actually, yeah. It's very good to know that, because a lot of people in our industry, it is all about working together, right? You are working with other people. It's a lot of time. It's hard to kind of be fully, especially if you're producing a full-blown film or shorter TV show like you're doing.
Goodness gracious.
And what is the name of the TV show that you're making?
So it's called Mandelbrot Hall. The creator of which, who's not here today, is Ren Abweg, who is also an SVA alum, and conceived of the show in an SVA class where it was developing the animated series, and we each had to make a series and develop it and make a pitch Bible throughout the class. And Mandelbrot Hall was Ren's show. Mine was different. You'll learn about that one later. And what we did, Ren and I had always done this at SVA, is that, because I did this for the 3rd year film, is that we'd always bounce ideas off of each other behind our teachers' backs. So Ren had the idea of Mandelbrot Hall, the story itself. I think I came up with the title, and then because I'm a nerd about fractals, I was like giving information about that. Ren was writing the characters. Ren is a phenomenal writer, and it was just a really fun way we bounced back and forth. The pilot episode we're working on now, it's 22 minutes long. Don't do that. Don't do that, by the way. Advice for starting a business: don't do 22-minute episode pilot. Maybe start with a 30-second one first.
Good advice.
Yeah, but it's the story of a spineless art student who's at her first year at art school, and the world starts decaying around her, and it's up to her to prove to all of her friends that something is happening, because she's the only one that knows what's going on. It's a very unique hell for someone to go to, but that's why it's fun. It's also half comedy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Hopefully everybody can check that out when it does come out.
Yeah.
So let's jump back to Sara real quick.
Hello.
So hello. So you have your website, Ohmonah.shop,
Yeah.
and you make so much cool, fun, and relatable merch. My personal favorite is your shirt that said, "I had a good poop today."
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
But I am curious where you get your inspiration from. Maybe not for that shirt, but for the other things, where does your inspiration come from to keep making new merch?
So for, I guess, a very quick story on
Yeah.
that shirt specifically. For that one specifically, I feel like it kind of set off like a roadmap, because I did Artist Alley while I was going to school starting in like 2010. And I remember I was working as a revisionist at Titmouse, and we were just waiting for notes to come in. So we had some downtime. AX was right around the corner. And usually in my scene or like work files, there's like the frame that you only see when you export, but in Flash or Animator or anything, nobody sees anything outside of the file unless you actually open it. So usually in work, I hide a lot of doodles and comics. So let's say you have a board revision, you pass it on to a layout artist or animator. They'll open the file and be like, fun surprise. So in there, I had a folder that was called garbage or something, or like, and I was like scanning through it, and one of them was, I took a good poop, and I was like, this would be funny. Let's just put it on a shirt and see what happens. So that's where that happened. So I think I feel like the company is split, not exactly 50-50, but there's a percentage of products that we'll make that is just original designs. Most of those stem from like the same thing of the good poop shirt. It's like, I don't know, you're shower thinking, or you're driving, you're like, wait, this would be kind of funny. Let's see, can we actually turn this into a product? And then for anything that's like licensing or for client work, usually we'll do like have a pretty strong understanding of like whatever the client's audience is. Let's say like recently we did some licensing products for Free Rent and Apothecary. So both have very different audiences. So we'll try to cater a product where, I don't know, the fan or the customer would relate to it. So it's kind of like two different routes depending on what kind of product it is that we'll want to make. But I think the biggest thing is try to make something that either hasn't been made or is interesting and cool in terms of like the merch industry department.
And you definitely succeed in doing that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I love your bags that are sweet, cute, slightly derpy fish. They're amazing.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
thank
say
you for
that.
sharing that.
Yeah.
Let's we'll jump over to Mr. Yes, please do it.
Yeah.
Her work is awesome. Check it out if you have
Oh.
not yet. Ohmonah.shop.
Thank you.
We're gonna jump over. I'm the guy today. I'm doing the sponsorship for SVA. I'm doing the Ohmonah. I gotta sell it, right? So Jim, we were just talking before about how you market your work, right? So you make some pretty amazing, beautiful sculptures and paintings, and your art is very much you. You have your own very specific style, and it's beautiful. And it's gotten out into the world. A lot of people know of you. Even Guillermo del Toro and Neil Patrick Harris have purchased your artwork.
Oh, yeah.
I'll drop that. I'll do some name drops, sure. How do you get your work out into the world and get people like that to see your work?
I think, thank you, first of all. And I think if you're making stuff that's you want people to see, sometimes there's a route for everything on social media. I think if you're looking to get views, if you're looking to get likes and stuff like that, there's very easy things you can do. If you're looking to make art, there's a chance you probably won't get much views. I think you have to start to think of these as two separate things. Some of my videos get a fair amount of views, and then that sort of categorizes me as like an influencer, which is not
Couple 100 million. Who said that?
no,
What?
I think, and then there's a lot of things where you really put a lot of heart into it, and then nobody sees it. Now,
Yeah.
that's the main thing is a lot of artists want their stuff out there. They want people to see it, and then they see other things where some bullshit comes out and it's got 1 million views, and you're shaking your head and you're thinking internally, like, what the hell is wrong with my stuff? So the thing is, I think personally, if you make stuff that's true to yourself and you put your heart into it without any intention of anything else but here's what I've got and I want to share it, then there will be people out there that will feel similarly. Will they see it? I don't know. It's up to you to really know how to put it out there. And again, it's all luck. You could post something one day and then post it the exact same way 2 hours later. You might get no likes. You might get 20 times more. So there's this randomness factor. There's the way you put things out there. And it all has really nothing to do with you, the artist. It just, when you go on social media, it's this disappointment after disappointment of people looking at other people and people internalizing themselves, I think, from what I hear from other artists. And, you want to make good stuff. You want people to see it. And I think there's no real answer other than just do what you want to do, put it out there, and eventually, over time, people will see it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Authenticity and consistency.
Yeah.
I think those are the two words to hold on to, because if you keep putting yourself out there, like your merch or Jim's artwork or your upcoming show, like that is the only thing that we can do as artists is just put everything that we have into our art and hope that other people respond to it in the same way. So yeah, thank you, Jim.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Actually, Sarah, would you also be able to elaborate a little bit on that? Just because you also
For marketing?
Yeah, for marketing.
So I feel like we're in two different paths, like
Yes.
LLC, non-LLC. And same thing for marketing as well too. I feel like comparatively to, like, let's say other artists that also built a small business or something, our marketing is pretty low to abysmal, I would say. And that just completely is due to, I guess, time. I guess how much time that we can dedicate towards like social media or, IG or whatever. But I will say, I guess we started mainly doing conventions, and I think it's been 10, 15 years going to like 20 to 25 different shows. Even though if years ago as well too, our following wasn't that much, I think just showing up consistently and still working on stuff and not putting such a heavy focus on like, oh, we have to do marketing, all of this stuff. It's still, you can still run a successful and like strong business without that. I think there's two routes for both, whether you put a lot of focus in marketing or not, which is why I think it's interesting. Because I feel like social media is probably our weakest point, but it's still, I don't know, business is still good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody's path is super different.
That's
what's so
I think
interesting
that's
about it.
Yeah.
Oh, so let's bounce over to Milo. So you were talking earlier about maybe don't work with 9 other artists.
Maybe.
And start a company. You could.
You could.
But you work with
tricky,
2
though.
others.
Yeah.
And there's 3 of you, 3 artists working together, and you live together.
Yeah, our studio is our basement.
Amazing.
And we live on the top floor.
So how does that dynamic work? Did you guys decide up front, like, hey, you're really good at this thing, I'm really good at this thing, and we're going to kind of take those on? Or has that kind of developed over time as you guys have worked on the project and went, okay, wait, I'll do this now and I'll,
Throughout college, because me, Reed, and Ren all met at SVA, and all of us sort of naturally specialized in 3 different things. I'm much more of a background art and compositing sort of person. Reed is very character design oriented, really great board artist. Ren, also a great board artist, but much more production centric and again, phenomenal writer. And it just so happened that like we sort of where one of us fell short, the other one was there to like be there, and all of us made one competent, well-rounded artist. So we were like, great, this is perfect. And mainly like the reason that the studio is our basement is because we could afford it. It's like Ren's parents' old house that they moved out of, but instead of selling it, they're like, hey, can we just continue paying the mortgage and we'll split it 3 ways and pay it as a rent, and then we'll just use the entire downstairs as a studio. And they were like, yeah, okay, sure. Like, ballsy move, but like, go ahead. And that's sort of, I mean, ideally we'd love to have like, studio space where we don't live there, because obviously it's kind of tricky to live and work in the same place. Anyone that's like worked from home, there's sort of like the sitting at computer and you're like, I want to do fun computer and not like numbers email computer.
What are you talking about? The last 4 years wasn't that at all.
Yeah, exactly. But thankfully we do sort of the main thing, especially if you're working from home or you're doing an indie studio thing in a similar situation as me, is to really discipline your separation of work and life. Like right now, like, we work from 10 to 6. I'm the only morning person of the group. I'm just gonna say that out loud. But like once those times are done, like they're done. Like we go upstairs, we wrap up, and it's over. If we get an urgent email like we need approvals for this merch thing like now, we'll be like, yeah, okay, like we'll sort it out. But we're not like, we try not to do overtime or anything crazy just because we don't want it to bleed through. That's definitely the biggest thing, because I know people in the indie world are very like passionate about their thing, but I see too many people where it's like that's their life, and I'm like, you gotta go outside and see them. Like that's where the art is. I don't know if you guys noticed this, the trees and the birds, that's where the art comes from. You gotta see it, and you gotta go there. I know this is a very severe change in attitude. I'm telling you. Sorry.
No, that's you answered it. It was
Okay, cool.
No, work-life balance is always good.
I'm so serious.
Yes. Well, and I like you guys have to do that too, because if
Yeah.
you live together, you work together, it's
Yeah.
good to be able to be like, okay, we have to separate our
Yeah.
time and be able to go, okay, we're not in work mode anymore.
And because of that, we're all still able to work with each other and be friends and hang out and not want to like kill each other, and that's great, which is really convenient.
The secret to life.
Yeah.
There you
Don't
go.
kill each other.
So one thing that all 4 of us have in common is we all went to SVA, who's sponsoring this panel today.
Yeah.
And have we mentioned that? Did we mention that? I think we mentioned it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know what the 3 of you, your biggest takeaway from the School of Visual Arts was. So we'll start down at the end with Sara.
Milo, I'm gonna say the opposite thing of you. I feel like work-life balance, I think especially when you run your own business, is the most difficult. I think especially more so when you are young and spry and you have more energy to do so. But I think at school, they would give me assignments, I would finish it, and then I'd be like, let me do more, and then still present it. I think, I don't know, I just was constantly working.
Well, that's a
But I
good
think,
differentiation too,
Yeah.
because you're
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
in
yeah.
school, right? Like when you're in
Yeah.
school, you just put your head down and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna just get
I
as
think
much
I
work
would
out as I
finish
can.
the schoolwork and also the assignments, but then depending on whatever we were learning, depending on the class, I would just keep working on that, because that is still a craft to work on. Yeah, I feel like the people that you meet as well too. I think seeing everybody's different work patterns is also interesting as well too, to kind of pick and choose what works best for you, because I feel like during school, that's when you're like fine tuning, like, do I work better like clock in, clock out, or do I work better like work like crazy for 2 weeks and then like do nothing for 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody's kind of different. Yeah.
Yeah, it's finding the
Yeah.
right thing for you, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. You have to, whatever makes you the most productive and
Yeah.
makes you not go crazy.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I think community was really good
Mhm.
at school as well too. When you find your core group of people, because I think it wasn't just me. It was like, I don't know, four or five other students that we were all like, all right, we all finished the assignment. let's do the same thing, but again, and again and again and again and
What
again.
is wrong
so.
with you?
Yeah. But it seems difficult, I think, at the time, but I think there's like a long-term benefit to it after as well too.
Yeah, there definitely is, because it's also
Yeah.
something that you're excited about. You know, you're learning about these things sometimes for the first time, and then you're going, okay, that was cool that I got to do that walk cycle with a robot or something, and then you go, okay, but now could I make a robot war happen? And then you do that after school, and that's kind of fun. Yeah. Mr. Jim.
What was the question again about?
SVA.
Sorry.
So the School of the Visual Arts. What was your takeaway from your experience there?
It was good. No, it was,
So Milo, no.
I'm trying to think. I guess we were talking about this earlier, where it's like, I think a lot of the teachers, no one specifically, just the teachers in general, all seem to work out in the industry, which is really great because you actually have teachers teaching you things that they're currently doing out in the wild. And when you get out of school, it's a very chicken egg situation, because you get out, you want to get hired, but you don't have experience, and you don't have experience because you haven't been hired anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do in this situation? So my solution was to talk to the teachers and work with them and pretty much work for free. I was working for free at multiple places and putting together an outside of school demo reel. And then that helped me the week after, a couple of days after graduation, just get my first job. And it's only because of these teachers that were working in the industry,
Yeah.
you know, helping me. So you got to put your own foot in the door.
Yeah, totally. And
Yeah,
those teachers a lot of times are, you know, you're working with them in class, they're teaching you, and then sometimes that leads to a job. Sometimes they see, not all the time, but sometimes that happens where they go, oh, you're really good at that thing. We kind of need somebody to do that thing at the studio.
Exactly, yeah.
And it just works out that way sometimes. Yeah.
I completely forgot. I went through that exact same
Did you?
experience in second year. I think there was a teacher and was like, hey, have you heard of this studio? And I was like, no. And they're like, have you heard of this show? No. And at the time, we were learning how to do like Adobe Animate and like Flash and stuff. And they're like, do you know how to use Flash? And I was like, maybe. And then from that teacher is an opportunity that then you get an internship, and then from there just start working. So I was doing a half working for a studio and then also going to school, and it was all mainly because of the teachers that you meet. And then it's also like there is opportunity, but you also have to prove yourself as well to the teacher as well.
Yeah. I'll just echo as a third person, but yes, that I had the exact same experience. Our teacher who worked with us on our thesis film ended up hiring some of us out. Me and Jim also worked together at one point outside of at Nathan Love in in New York City. Milo.
It's so funny because before SVA, I was like, I want to do animation, but maybe I want to do some other things, like maybe comics or something. Who knows? Maybe I want to draw, draw pictures, maybe not cartoons. But I was like, okay, I feel like if I do an animation degree, even if I don't come out as like at the end of it being like an animator, I'm gonna know a lot of other skills because just by the nature of this craft, it's so full of like many different steps. Like the fact that, you've got a merchandise shop owner, amazing like sculptor, and like what this Instagram wizard that you see before you, it's not an accident. Like the reason, like they're not pumping out individual people. Like you've got so many different steps in animation and so many different like electives. Like the fact that you choose your own path sometimes is sort of by design. But like it's funny because like the internships are so great at SVA because of the faculty like being in the industry. I never got one, not for lack of effort. I applied to DreamWorks twice. I got Titmouse 3 times. A couple other studios, never heard back. But that's okay because with the skills that I had, I was like, screw those guys. I'm gonna do my own thing. And look at me now. But the reason I really wanted to go to SVA in particular was because it was one of the few schools that you're like, okay, you can make your own films. And I'm like, that's I feel like that's such a low bar for an animation school, but that's not many of them do it. And I think they actually tell the recruiters to do this because like I shared experiences with other SVA people and they all said the same thing where they're like, oh, they remembered the name of my OC and then they like, cause like, listen, I bash on it. It worked so well. They're like, oh, they remembered my OC. I'm gonna turn it into a film and I'll make it my SVA film and I'll post it on YouTube and it'll be one of those thesis films that has views. So this is to say that my takeaway from SVA is that it'll teach you way more than just like how to animate. You will get a lot more other skills under your belt that you can use to do whatever you want with. But
I would echo your other big takeaway is probably the people that you work with now.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Actually,
I'd say that's probably the big
Reed did get the Titmouse internship, so of course something came of it. But and also the people you work with too, because like the people besides the three of us at Flimpo, because we do contract out a couple people. Like most of them are just the people that like I know from SVA, because I'm like, yeah, I know how you work. And then there are some people who are like, I know how you work, or you're not working for us. Sorry. But yeah, it's you learn a lot of things.
Yeah.
What you do with it, that's up to you.
Yeah.
That's your problem.
Well, and a lot of it is mostly working with other people, learning how to work with other people. And I think for me personally, when I graduated from SVA, I ended up working on a thesis film with 3 other artists. So we had to.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking you a very pointed question, because I went through it. I was like, when we started the film, we ended up going, okay, you do this, you do this, you do that, and everybody was in charge of their thing, and that's how we got through it, and everybody respected each other and loved each other at the end still.
That's actually how me, Ren, and Reed, the first time we all worked together was the SVA third-year group film. Which, by the way, is like it's a trial. It's like maybe shouldn't be allowed, but like listen. I'm sorry, Chuck. It's true. I think it's a great thing. I think it should stay. I think it's awesome. But dear Lord, we almost died. But I was the director for the third-year film. Reed was the lead character designer. Ren was the producer, and we got everything done on time. And that's all I'm gonna say.
There you go.
But yeah,
we love deadlines.
Yeah.
You had just mentioned that you are an Instagram wizard.
Unfortunately.
Yes.
Yeah.
So do you have any advice as well? Because we had talked to both Sara and Jim about the marketing.
Oh,
but
for social media?
For social media.
So my mom says this really funny thing that social media algorithm is like rats on cocaine. And I think what she means to say is that like both of you were reiterating, like it's sort of random. Like I was talking with a friend of mine earlier because he's also like in the social media space, Cody Gindy, really great Blender artist. And we were both talking about how we both have like one video that just blew up, and it was like a really low effort video, but it was one that we asked people like, hey, what do you guys think about which one looks the best? And we just to this day still get comments that are like, none of them. Or just people just saying the one answer and that's it. We got someone, it was the video was like, we had in Mandelbrot Hall, there is a Coraline-like tunnel in one of the episodes, and the visual effect for it, we were always going back and forth on what it looked like. So we were like, hey, we have a big audience. Let's ask them. They know. So we made 3 different variations of the effect. And we said, hey, which one of these looks the best? And if you ask the void a question, it'll answer. Because we got, we said version A, version B, version C. And so people were, we didn't ask. We said, I like version B. I'm 65 from Vincennes, Indiana. And I'm like, we don't need to know anymore. But this is all to say, if you want, I think consistency and being genuine, 100%. You need to, when people, engagement you get out of asking directly. And usually asking directly means comment down below what you think about this. Or what do you want us to do? Or does this look cool? Or my personal favorite, put a poster of a media property that people recognize in the background of your video. And no matter what the video is about, people will say, "Is that a Lemon Demon poster?" To this day.
Product placement.
yeah.
That's the all right.
Just,
all right.
just be direct.
Yeah.
Don't like be like, "Oh, I'm gonna do like an intro and be like, oh, I'm kind of like this." No, look in the camera and say what you want. You got 5 seconds before they
Right.
scroll, sometimes less. Like,
It's a good point. Yeah.
the first video we ever made on Studio Flimpo's Instagram was, "Hi, I'm Milo, I'm Ren, I'm Reed, and we started an animation studio in our basement." That's what, if we did an intro or like a little musical thing or like, "Hey, we're the three of us, we're kind of quirky and we're doing I wouldn't be here. I'm genuinely serious, I wouldn't be here. Ask directly. Do it scared.
Well, we're happy you are here.
Thank you. Thank you. Also, you guys be here. Also.
So, Jim, I had a question for you. So you you have done a lot of freelance work with a lot of different places, and you've bounced around. You've done stuff I've seen on Last Week Tonight. You've animated some things. You've been kind of all over the place. How do you connect with these clients, and how do they find you, basically? Or how do you find them? Yeah, I guess
don't
that's the
know.
question, right?
No, I'm at this point. I don't know. It's. I feel like I'm in the freaking Matrix where like something will finish, and then the day it finishes, somebody's like, "Hey, I got this project," and then that finishes, and then somebody just is like, "I got this."
Yeah.
And it just weirdly just happens to work out within the last 2 years. Before that, I was doing a lot of like reaching out and checking in on people that I've met, but there was a year where there was absolutely no work at all, and this is around the writer's strike. And the year before that, I did so great. I had all these great commercials out and just various projects, and I was like, when you work on a lot of great projects that pay great, you can then spend that money on the stuff you want, like the true art. So for me, it's always been this balance of, well, I don't really want to do full-time working on other people's stuff, and I kind of don't want to do full-time working on my own stuff. I kind of like that, like bouncing around, because when you do bounce around, you get your stuff financed by the other stuff. So
Right.
I would work with other companies. I would just happen to be at the right place, right time situation. There's always like, I never actually applied to a place. The one time that I actually was like, I'm going to go check this out, was at Jim Henson Creature Shop. And I was watching Sesame Street with my kid one day, and I just moved to Burbank, and I'm like, I wonder where they make all, the Henson stuff. So I like just Googled it, and I found out it was right across the street in this like what I thought was an abandoned building. And I was like, that's weird. And I like manically was like, I'm gonna go walk over there. So I just walked over there. And I had a business card, and I was like, what am I doing? And I'm like peeking through the windows. There was like black windows. I'm like, it looks like something's in here. And then I was almost about to give up, and I see around the dumpster there was a door that was like a jar, or it was like
Oh my god.
there was a sock hanging out of it, and I was like, So I just kind of walked in, and and I saw,
Trespassing.
yeah, you shouldn't do it, but
Yeah.
it was like gelflings and dark crystal props and all this stuff, and I was like, whoa, I'm in here. What the hell's going on? So
no one's tackled me yet.
yeah. And then a minute later, this young guy walks in. He's like, hey, can I help you? This is like the back.
And that man was Kermit the
It
Frog.
was him. I said, wow.
Hi ho. Hi Jim. Welcome to the
Wow,
Muppet
Kermit.
Shop. We're happy to have you.
Yeah, it was an honor to see him. But so he took me to the front, and I explained like, hey, I'm across the street. Here's my car, and she's looking at me like I'm a nut job, which was the case. And it just so happened like maybe 2 months later they had called me back, and they're like, oh, we got this project that's perfect for you. And that was like a very weird, rare thing that happened there, but maybe not as extreme, but I think it's good to put yourself out there. Don't break into places, and try to make those connections legally.
Put yourself out there, breaking and entering. Yes. Yeah.
So,
Amazing.
That's so funny.
Sometimes it does work out,
yeah.
Yeah.
And Sarah, you said
Yeah.
so you had done some work for other companies before you started your own
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So did that kind of lead you into making your own business?
So, oh my God, this is gonna sound really complicated. So I started doing like artist alley or like going to different conventions and like selling art and stuff while I was in school. But then I also was working in the industry while I was in school, and it's like a weird juggle between full-time school while doing full-time work with essentially you're freelancing yourself. Um, and then when it was convention down season, I was working full time at Titmouse and then also doing finishing up like third and fourth year of school. Um, yeah. So it was just a lot of back and forth. I think I always just did both. And I think the reason why I sticked at Titmouse for so long was they kind of knew that I would do convention work kind of like on the side. And usually with that kind of work, it's you fly out on a Friday, fly back in on a Sunday. So I would let them know like 6 months in advance. I don't know if they would still do this. It's just a anomaly kind of thing. So I would let them know like, hey, this is a convention schedule 6 to 8 months in advance. Like I would use my PTO and sick days for that. But if there weren't any sick days, if there was another department that was behind, but I knew I could do the work, I was like, hey, layout team is behind. Give me some of their work. I'll do like still work the time and then go do cons and stuff. It wasn't until 2017 that I was like, after doing full time both for like, I don't know how many years it was at that point. I was like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm gonna go to Japan for like 2 weeks. And I think I knew the show that I was on was about to end, and they always kind of like seamlessly wove me from like as one show was ending, they would like be like, "Hey, this other one is going to start up," and it would just weave back and forth. Um, yeah, my gig was ending, and they were like, "Hey, we want to put you on this other gig," and I was like, no, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna take a break. Um, and I think I didn't think that I was gonna do like small business, or I guess kind of like my own business, for forever. But I think as time went on and I was working in the industry while also doing my own stuff, I think at the time when I made the leap, I was like, hey, let's just see what happens. If it goes well, great. If it doesn't, I knew enough people that I was like felt comfortable enough to go back into animation. But I think as time passed, I was like, you know what? I think what I really enjoy is the operations aspect of running a business, kind of like the efficiency and kind of like fine tuning. You're working on so many different things and you have to manage so many different moving pieces at the same time. And I think I was surrounded in school and also in industry where everybody's like, I want to be a character designer. I want to be a board artist. I want to do this. I'm like, everybody is on this rat race. And I think something about 2017, I had an epiphany and I was like, you know what? I don't think this is for me. But I think that's okay. I think like I had to go work, I don't know, work at these different gigs or work in the animation to learn that. But also everything that I learned at Titmouse on off for like between like 7, 8 years. To this day, every single merch that I have made, whether original or like client work and stuff, is all done in Flash. I had like Flash and Illustrator end up talking to each other really well because they're both vector based. So I found like a cheat code to draw everything in Flash, export it out. It's vector based, and now like all the production company people that want vector based stuff, they're just like, oh, cool, this is great. So yeah, I think learning the filing structure system and working in the industry and seeing like how a singular scene will move down the pipe train, I think helped a lot with what I do now. So it was very interesting.
That's
The
super interesting.
foundation of
Yeah.
my business still comes from
A
animation.
pipeline.
Yeah.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everything that you've done has kind of led to you being ready to do this.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
even doing tabling and like cons and everything.
Yeah.
Going, oh,
It was a
merch.
mixture of both. I think
Yeah.
doing conventions first and then also working in the industry, and then combining everything kind of, I don't know, that I've learned everywhere. Like my first job was working at a bakery, and before that I was scared to pick up the phone and, I don't know, order pizza, right? Like so like working at a bakery, like old people are yelling at you and you kind of get out of your shell from that. So it's like taking pieces from like whatever work experience that you have, whatever school experience you have, whatever experience that other friends have near you, and then just kind of like, I don't know, build your own path from there. Yeah. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Thank
It's
you for sharing
interesting.
that.
Yeah.
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 All right. Well, we have a few minutes left, and then we're going to open it up for questions for you guys. I had one more quick one. If we could answer them fairly quickly, then we could get through it. But I just wanted to ask, what do you three love most about your job? What you get to do?
Freedom.
Good, good. Yeah, one-word answers.
That's-
Go
yeah.
for it, yeah.
I don't know.
You don't need a one-word
Go-
answer. I was just joking.
No, it's fun. It's I don't know. Well, no, I do like there's like a bit of torture to it where you know,
Amen.
yeah, like the deadlines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I have a son, so I'm with him from 2:30 to 11 at night, just playing, and which makes that window of time very like I really need to make something.
Yeah.
So there's a big level of like, you know, craziness, and I love the fact that you know, if you allow yourself to just get crazy and like be a little delusional and just do whatever the hell you want, like you'll wind up with something that is very like self-reflective at the end, because like sometimes you don't even know what you're doing. I think that's better than having a really solid plan, because if you have a really solid plan and you see it through, sometimes it's kind of boring and it's more of a chore to finish it. But when you leave it
Right, yeah.
sort of like a guess,
Dude, we're like yin and yang.
Like
the opposite.
This is
like
why it's great. We have
6
three
months in
different.
advance,
Yeah.
like this, 5 different projects moving at the same time, products
Yeah.
touching down, products leaving. Like you
no,
gotta
I
line
do
it
too, but
up.
I'm saying there
Gotta-
has to be a level of
There's-
letting yourself, you know,
Yeah.
There's
be
something
free.
That's so
funny though
funny.
about like making a like let me just do like a fun unplanned project for a couple months, and then at the end you're like, oh, that's a reflection of my inner soul that I didn't want to like have out in the world. Oh,
Yeah.
oh well.
It's embarrassing too, but you know,
It is kind of
Yeah.
embarrassing.
you have to still be able to play. You can't just get out of
Yes.
school and be like, I'm here to do this. I'm the master at this.
Yeah,
You have
yeah,
to
yeah.
let yourself be
Here's
always learning.
like a
and-
piece of my soul in a material like way. Oh my god, like it's
Yeah, yeah.
maybe like in comments, maybe.
No. Don't worry about liking comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sarah.
I feel like running. I don't know how to describe this. Running a business is extremely difficult, and I feel like there's a lot of pros and cons that come with it. You set your own hours, but at the same time, if something happens, you are the sole responsible person, right? Whether it's like finance, whether it's like deadlines or whatever, you have to set that all for yourself. So there is flexibility with that, but I don't know. I feel like I work best when there's like a fire under my ass. But I also am the one that sets the fire. That's
Yeah.
like go, go, go,
Yeah.
go, go,
Set
right?
the fire under your
Um,
own ass. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
but
I
I feel like I did this in school too, where it's like you have
Yeah.
your school projects, but then I would still go to the cons and I would make my own fake deadlines and be like, I need to finish this by this time, this day, send it to the print shop and whatever. And I feel like you have to keep yourself accountable. I don't know. I started a small business because I was like, hey, I work better in burst damage. So like work extremely hard, like 15 hours a day, 3 weeks. And then for 2 weeks, I want to do nothing. Like nobody
Super
talk to
Mario
me,
Galaxy
do nothing.
and nothing
yeah,
else.
just nothing. But so I had my daughter recently. And since then, you can't do burst damage. You can't just disappear for like 2 weeks and be like, I'm going to lay on the floor and do absolutely nothing. So because of that, I had to then restructure to then like go into the office at like 9 a.m. and then leave by 4, pick her up from school. But at the same time, I think because of the business I built, and I guess it's weird because it gives you freedom, but then it also gives you structure too. Like, I don't know how to describe it. And I think it just might depend on whatever phase you're, because I'm sure it's different for you guys as well too. But yeah, I don't know.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's hard, but I feel like it's for certain type of people, I guess. It's very difficult, but it is also extremely fulfilling. Yeah.
That's awesome. And it
Yeah,
works
yeah,
for you.
yeah.
And that's the thing, is it has to work for each of us.
Yeah,
right? You
yeah,
have
yeah.
to make it work for you.
A special kind of crazy. I
Yeah.
would say. Yeah. A special kind of crazy.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, so I want to open it up real quick before we wrap up here. We got about 10 minutes left. So if anybody has any questions, please raise your hand and we'll have somebody come around.
This question is mainly for Milo, but anybody else, you can chime in. I'll give you a little personal background. So I recently graduated high school. I wanted to like get into animation I either want to get into the animation industry or the indie animation community or start my own thing. But I've been actually thinking about starting my own thing, like my own show, and maybe even like what you guys are doing at Studio Flimpo, like creating your own stuff. What would you say to somebody like me who has no idea like how to like do like any of that? Is what my question would probably be.
Probably make the thing first. Like just if you like, especially in the indie world, like the best artists I know in the indie world. My favorite one, very underrated series, Harbor City, by artist Path Bar. It's this mixed media 3D animated show about these two gay guys that live in their like horrible house in West Virginia. It's so good. Please watch it. And he just made it. He just made the first episode just like for fun. And then all the other stuff came after that. Because you don't want to invest a lot of time and money in something that just flops but you just had fun with. So if you just make the thing first, and then you're like, okay, did I enjoy doing that? Do other people like it? Is this like a people want to pay me money for this, or is this sort of just like this just shows off my skills and I bring this to a company and maybe they hire me sort of deal? But you learn all that if you make the thing first, and also it makes it lower commitment. Do it scared. Look at me. Do it scared. I'm so serious. If you're scared, do it scared.
If you never finish anything, like you're never going to learn from it. So even if you finish it and you're like, you know what, this sucks, at least I finished it. Now I'm going to move on. Right?
True.
I feel like if you're stuck, then you're never going to move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Just do it.
Do we want to take the next question back?
Yeah, let's move on.
Back there?
Cool.
Okay.
Hi. Can you hear me okay?
We
Yes.
can.
Hello.
I had a question. This is sort of kind of piggybacking off of the do it scared kind of thing. I know like myself and a lot of other, especially students, I feel like have like a really big, not only like a fear of failing, but also like a need to be perfect at what they're doing. And I was like wondering if you guys had any tips, because obviously all of you are putting your work just out there, and I'm wondering if you have any tips on like how to get out of your own head and like just put the work out there regardless.
I think failing is the only way to grow.
Yeah.
That's the only lesson that you're going to learn, and that this is not just art related. This is anything in life, right? If you're learning to walk, you have to learn to fall, to pick yourself back up, to walk again. And I think, to be honest, you just do it.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, it doesn't matter. Just do it.
Don't think about it. It's a
Yeah.
leap of faith. Spider-Verse, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like one of my favorite projects I've ever made was the third year film I made, the personal one, after the group film, which is even more of a trial, by the way. I didn't finish it because I was too ambitious and I made mistakes. I made some poor planning choices. But if I had not made those utterly reprehensible decisions, I would never have made my favorite film that I've ever made, because you never meet a successful artist who's like, yeah, well, I made my magnum opus the first time and now I have $1 trillion and everything's fine.
Now I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done.
I'm done.
You just fail faster. Yeah.
That's something that I hear over and over again. I'm
Yeah.
sure you've heard the quote, oh no, I did it wrong. Not fail often. It's
Fail often, learn a lot.
yeah, that's true, I guess. Fail early is what they say, right?
Yeah.
So it's go into it, get all of your passes out, and then you'll eventually, yeah. Okay, we have time for one more. Jim, did you want to add to that? Okay, we'll do one more. We'll do one more question. Yeah.
Hi. My question is, how do you guys get funding, especially for Studio Flimpo and Sara, your business?
Yeah.
How do you get funding to start, especially like if you were gonna make amount of products to sell, like where did you get that money from? Is that your own personal savings? And same for Studio Flimpo, where did you get the funding to pay your employees? Is that all from Kickstarter? I'm just curious about the different revenue streams you guys have.
A lot of it was crowdfunding. The funny thing is we were in a really weird position where our videos blew up and we're like, we have to make a Patreon. And then that's where we got a lot of our money. But crowdfunding is a big one, but it's really merch. Merch is so much like, if you can say, oh, well, you can maybe give us $1 to $5 every month and we'll like nebulously, that'll help us. Or you can be like, look, do you want the plushie or not? Like people like to buy things, and I refer to Sarah on this
Yeah.
because the world of merch is such a rabbit hole. But historically, that's how animation's made money.
So for, I guess on my end, more on like product design and like product development. I stand behind. I know that there's a lot of businesses that are like, hey, I'm going to take a capital loan, give me like $5,000 or whatever, and I'll start making money from that and then pay it back. In school, I think, actually, I don't know where it first started. I didn't have like a ton of money to start with, but it was personal money. But I started with what I was comfortable that if this just completely disappeared, my life wasn't over. But on the flip side, I had a lot of friends that were like, oh, I'm going to make like enamel pins. I'm going to drop like $5,000, but then I'm going to make $15,000. So it's going to be fine. And then they release it. And then it's like, oh, shoot, what am I going to do? So I was very much in the mentality since day one that was like, if I have $5, I'm going to spend $250 of that and then make $3 more. And then now I have $8 to work with. All right, spend $5. Like slowly like increase the capital window that you can work within. And that's the same thing for, I think, as long as you're smart with your finances, don't overspend what you don't have. Like for, I guess I don't know, merch company. I don't know. It's not just like products that we have overhead for. Like we have a studio space, we have a warehouse, we have like a team of 5 people that need to pay their salaries every month. And it's just being mindful with what you have, but also not over expecting like, oh, I'm spending this much making XYZ. I am going to bank on making this because it might not happen. So some of it is kind of like high risk, high reward. But I think the best thing is if you spend money on merch that is not, let's say, like a pre-order basis or something or prepaid, I think put yourself in a situation that's like, if you didn't make any of that money back and it was gone, would you be fine? If yes, then make that risk. If no, then maybe reassess. Yeah,
No,
that's what I
super
would
valid
say.
points. Don't
Yeah.
be afraid, and
Yeah.
and make sure that you're only risking what you're comfortable risking
Yeah,
up front, and then as you
100%.
go through, you'll start to
Yeah.
feel more confident in the amounts of
Yeah.
money you can put into your business.
I think as
Yeah.
you get more comfortable and that capital window grows more and more, I think you're going to have a more clear understanding with like what kind of products you want to make, what your audience is, and like what sells, what doesn't sell. Like you're going to fine tune that instead of being like $10,000, let's spend it, let's see what happens, So yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
guys. Well, I think that's it. We are at the end.
Yeah.
So thank you all so much for coming out for this. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Sarah, Jim, and Milo. You
Thank
guys were
you.
awesome. And please check out Nick's Friends and Film on YouTube when you get some time. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Like, comment, and subscribe below.
Like, comment, and subscribe below.